I'm back again and fact-checking videos from On the Pulse with Silki, giving you a perspective of someone who actually lives in Iceland and knows a little bit more about the details of what's happening. And she's just using Google Translate to read the local news, but I actually can read the news by my without translation, so I can give you a little bit different perspective. The video that I will be talking about now is called Horrible Crack Inside of Sport Arena and Lawsuits Filed by Residents, Businesses and Reporters. It was published on 7th of February 2024, and I will begin by just looking at those photos that she uses from the crack. Look at this photo and this one, basically the same one, just flipped around. And this one, look at these. Does something strike you regarding these photos from inside the arena? And this is probably the worst one. I mean, there's someone wearing like an oxygen mask. I don't know why he would be wearing an oxygen mask, and then holding a football. And there's no safety harness. So these photos, as most of you can tell, are AI generated. She has not used real photos, and she did not put any disclaimer regarding it in the description, or she didn't reply to any of the comments that were asking her why she's using AI generated photos. Let's look at some comments here. For example, this one: please do not put false art of cracks or whatever in your videos. It decreases your credibility, and I agree. And then there's this weird comment about the photos. All of the rights and proceeds from the pictures should go to helping the townspeople. What's this person talking about? And she replies, won't happen, all private guys who live off that. What kind of a reply is that? Such a weird reply. I don't know what they're talking about. Like these. But here's one who actually thought these photos are real. I am shocked about the indoor football place pictures. You are right, they cannot know what is under their houses. I had a picture in my head. What if there is an eruption inside the hall? And then she says, it is very well possible. So the fact is they took real photos, and I will put in the description a link to actual photos from inside the arena. And second, they knew that there was a crack there. It was covered by the fake grass, but they knew it was there because there was cracks on one side of the arena and outside the other, on the other side, outside the arena. So they knew there would be a crack inside. So it's been closed since November 10th. They closed it, said no one is allowed to go in there until just 10, 12 days ago. They opened it up, went in there with safety harnesses and assessed the damage, and it was quite horrible. So my criticism here is put a disclaimer that when you're using AI generated photos. Put a disclaimer when you're using photos that are not of the location. Let me show you this one. See? She just uses this as a photo when she's talking about people moving out, but this is not a picture from Grindavik. This is just a stock photo. Put a disclaimer, stock photo. Put a disclaimer that you're not a geologist and that you're just reporting from what other people are saying, and you're just going from your instinct. You talk in a way that as some kind of authority or something like that, and people believe you because you talk in such confidence. Put a disclaimer that you don't live in Iceland and you're using Google Translate. to give you these reports. Then listen to what she actually says later on in the video.
At the moment, the most pictures that you see out of Grindavik, they are coming from the search and rescue teams. They're taking these pictures.
She's saying that these photos are coming from the search and rescue team. Well, when it's obvious that these are AI-generated photos. Let's look at the next clip.
And maybe they should hold more meetings with the residents of Grindavik to really have this explained, just not only by the police chief and by those authorities, but by geology professors and by scientists and experts that really explain what the danger is. I haven't seen that this is really happening.
Well, you haven't seen this happening because you don't live in Iceland and you're not on the ground reporting what's happening. There have been lots of meetings with the residents, lots of expert opinion given to the residents. So once again, you just don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
But real journalism and documentation, I think, is important, and a lot of journalists are taking a lot of risks. Look at how many journalists are covering the war in Ukraine. They're sitting in cities that are being bombed.
Well, here she's just contradicting herself from the previous video where she says that no one is allowed to go into Grindavik. It's too dangerous. Now she's saying that journalists should be allowed to go inside to document what's happening. Well, isn't it too dangerous to go in there? She's all over the place. At the same time, I'll give her credit for giving all perspective and giving both sides. So she talks about the residents who wants to move back in and gives his case, even though she doesn't agree with it. So I'll give her credit for that. That's good. Other than that, I think the coverage was okay in this video. The worst thing was the AI-generated photos. But I will just emphasize, I want her to put links to the articles that she's mentioning, and try to be more accurate in her reporting, not to give false information. The only credentials that I have is that I'm Icelandic, I know the language and I know the area, but I'm not a geologist, and so I'm giving you that disclaimer. For you as a viewer, I think you have the right to know the context. So I don't take any pleasure in making these videos. I wish I didn't have to do them. I try to put comments in her videos, trying to encourage her to be more factual, put links. She hasn't done that. I looked for her email address. I wanted to contact her personally. I didn't find any email to send her. So this is my last resort. I feel compelled that I have to give out these videos, and hopefully give more background information for the viewers to know what's actually happening in Iceland.